Toronto Tzu Chi volunteers provide warm clothes and medicines for people on the street during the epidemic. A Taiwanese volunteer, Chen Mei-zhu, passes away at the age of 95 while her compassion remains in the world. Welcome to That Headlines. I'm Maggie Tai. Thank you for joining us. Toronto Tzu Chi volunteers have been working with a local NGO that supports the homeless for the past 15 years, providing hot meals. With concerns about the coronavirus and pneumonia, they have suspended food service and provided warm clothing and medicine to ensure the health and safety of the homeless people.
The Toronto Tzu Chi branch has been working with Street Health since 2005, providing care for the homeless for 15 years.
This year it's a little different unfortunately because of the coronavirus, we've decided not to do a lunch, but instead the group of volunteers has come to one of our drop-in programs that we offer, where we have folks that are homeless and underhoused, and they're giving out the winter relief kits, and we really appreciate that.
Well, this year they won't be providing a hot meal. Volunteers have been busy providing winter relief kits and medicine for local homeless people.
A lot of the clients that we work with don't have access to other forms of health care, other doctors and nurses, and because of financial barriers and other barriers, the pain patches and just over-the-counter medications really help people cope with chronic pain and help them be able to live their lives while staying in the shelter system.
We are deeply appreciative of the donations and the support that we receive from the Tzu Chi.
Thank you.
Tzu Chi volunteers have shown their care and compassion for the homeless for the past 15 years. While many are still sleeping on the street, they could all feel the warmth and compassion.
Tzu Chi Liaison Office in Kunming, China has been located in one building for 15 years. Recently, everyone has been very cautious about the COVID-19 epidemic, and the security guards on duty work harder. Volunteers have prepared some vegetarian snacks for the guards to express their gratitude.
The fluctuating heart gradually calmed down because of learning.
I learned myself again. I realized that I was quite stubborn with a lot of thoughts and troubles. I got angry with my family easily, but now I know how to let go and forgive. I'm able to re-examine myself and it's more introspective. It's really the most beautiful moment in my life.
Tzu Chi volunteers from Kunming Liaison Office cared for the on-duty security guard of the building when they went to the liaison office to attend class.
We gave them some snacks because they work very hard. They help us to guard and sanitize this building every day.
I called the captain of the security and told him we could send them some vegetarian food, which was nutritious and good for the lung at noon every day.
Thank you very much for sending us food and warmth.
After I joined Tzu Chi, I think I'm doing some beautiful things to others. I feel at ease.
Volunteers express their sincere respect happily, warming others' hearts.
U.S. Tzu Chi volunteers hosted a vegetables and fruit distribution at a local elementary school of Huntington Garden City, California. For the low-income Spanish families, the healthy diet can decrease the risk of overweight and diabetes, and their children may grow up healthily. It's rare to see only shopping carts lining up at the distribution venue of vegetables and fruits. Here, Tzu Shao's also accompanies students to make handcrafts and play some science games.
We taught the children how to make a bridge with papers, and they all had a good time, as well as learned some new things.
Like I'm learning about people sharing and things, and people, when they get food, they react as being grateful.
This was the 25th time parents met together at Miles Avenue Elementary School. Tzu Chi volunteers invited them into the auditorium, and the principal promoted the correct health habits to prevent virus infections. Tzu Chi volunteers also asked everyone to eat a vegetarian diet and make a wish for someone they love. Many were moved by the event.
Because I'm a cancer survivor myself, So my doctor tells me all the time, eat more vegetables, more legumes, less carbohydrates. And that's exactly what you're doing here today for our community.
Everyone wish for health and peace as they practice healthy living habits and adopt a vegetarian diet daily to cherish the nature. The greenhouse effect has caused serious health hazards. The temperature and the number of vector mosquitoes have increased, and the spread of disease has accelerated. It is believed that vegetarianism is a good solution to protect the earth and our health.
While the global temperature continues to rise, extreme climate also increases drastically. In addition to threatening human life, it has also indirectly caused some pandemic diseases.
Mosquitoes are the best known disease vector. The common one in Taiwan is dengue fever. Also, there's the virus Zika, chikungunya fever, malaria, etc. It's because the whole temperature of the earth has increased. Many infectious diseases will affect our health because of climate change.
One of the important reasons for the greenhouse effect is the livestock industry, which supplies humans with meat.
It is known that more than 50% of the greenhouse effect is caused by animal husbandry. Because of this, climate change is drastic, so vegetarianism has direct impact on the disease we just mentioned. There's a good solution for climate change.
Embracing vegetarianism can reduce global warming and the pandemic of infectious disease. It not only saves the planet, but also protects human health.
Jingzi Books and Cafe is selling probiotics, and volunteer in Wujia, Kaohsiung recycled aluminum foil for packaging the probiotics into reusable shopping bags. To strengthen its toughness, the volunteers sewed them a few more times and also wove them into beautiful artwork.
The volunteer is washing these tiny aluminum foil pouches to make them useful again.
We felt that these things would be burnt because they were useless, so we could remake them, and other people could use them.
They were supposed to be thrown away, but after we sold them, they are useful again.
One simple thought allowed these Tzu Chi volunteers in Wujia, Kaohsiung to be creative. They wash these tiny aluminum foil pouches, dry them, sew them together, and weave them. After these 4 steps, the volunteers turned them into beautiful shopping bags.
The aluminium foil was short when we had them, too short to be useful, so we thought about sewing them together. We once worked with packing strips because the packing strips are very long.
They were made to be thrown away, but it's wonderful to make them into bags.
Those who can sew will sew them. Those who know how to weave will weave them. The public and the children came to help, but it is not easy to make them.
This is a little more difficult to stretch them because we sew them together. If we aren't careful, we will easily tear them apart.
It takes us a lot of effort to do it, and it also hurts our hands. We do this because we know how to sew, so we must continue.
This teamwork allows them to create hanging ornaments and shopping bags from packing straps. Now they have come out with the shopping bags from aluminum foil. They can even turn the multi-gram powder bags into shopping bags. The volunteers' creativity is really amazing.
Senior Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Mei-zhu passed away at Qatar General Hospital peacefully at 95 years old. She was the first seated Tzu Chi in Taipei and was known as the eldest sister. In the past, when the master wanted to build a hospital, she helped raise funds and also visited the impoverished. Although she suffered from dementia at a later age, she did not forget the happiest time in Tzu Chi.
The fellowship between master and disciple is a lifelong affinity. In 1972, at Huiyi Lecture Hall, Chen Mei-zhu heard that a master in Hualien was going to build a hospital and was deeply moved. She and her sisters joined Tzu Chi together. Among them, she was the oldest and was the first batch certified Tzu Chi's commissioner in Taipei. Her commissioner number was 43, with the double name of Tzu Nian, and known as the eldest sister of Taipei.
Although I am the oldest, I'm not the best.
With easygoing personality, she went with her sisters to do Tzu Chi together. No matter it was to raise donations for hospitals or visit the impoverished, she always took the lead.
When I entered the house of a family, I already knew whether assistance was needed for that family. Most of them lived in countryside, and they only had a table without any chairs.
It's the norm for her to go out early and come back home late. Yet her husband and family fully supported her.
When my husband went out in the morning, I went out. When he came back, I still haven't arrived. He just waited for me at the door. Once I needed to go to the southern part and arrived home at about 1 o'clock in the midnight. My husband said, "You finally come back. I just prayed for your safe return."
Taipei Tzu Chi volunteers started from them. Although she suffered from long-term dementia, she loved Tzu Chi same as before. She still remembered the happiest Tzu Chi work she did before. She was everyone's eldest sister. She chose to leave everyone in spring where flowers blooms, just like her elegant personality.
When we look back to see her life, she has no regret.
I hope that we can have the chance to meet her again.
Today we take you to meet the Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Mei-zhu. She begins to volunteer to bring good blessings to her son, who was born with multiple birth complications. Here's her story.
This slope is like a life test. We both say to each other that this is like the beginning of learning how to walk the Bodhisattva path. Each time we have to climb it, we are testing our dedication and the unwillingness of giving up on this journey.
要一鼓作气上去。看到了，加油，加油！就是一个独居老人住在这边，我们现在就是要去看他。到了，到了 ，Hello， 你好。哎，要乖乖的哦，要乖乖的哦。
这个是生的，
生的哦，
哦，
这是生的哦。
蛋，你要拿去冰。
阿宝，来，
对，
好乖哦，
好坐下，
好乖哦。
坐下。
最近身体怎么了？
太阳太大了，都有点晕了。
晕眩哦。够开心晕眩啊，哈。
实际的啊，他常常来看我的。
是哦。
对，我说他们过来的时候，我心里很高兴了，很开朗了。就这里，对，
哪两件？
这个也是这个，这直接来给我的吧。
My son needs to eat foods that are a bit mushier, so you have to cook it a little longer. It's easier for him to chew and digest like this.
你说你要端菜？
端菜。
哦，啊，你喜欢吃什么？今天妈妈煮什么？
看着打开。
你喜欢吃吗？
喜欢。
My name is Zhang Hongwei. I'm 22 today. I'm 22 years old.
When he was born, there was a birth defect that caused a split down his abdominal wall. There was a part of the intestine that was hanging out. All the organs below his appendix are in pairs, which resulted in him having 2 bladders and 2 genitals. The doctors had to remove one of them, but even so, he still has incontinence issues. This is why he still has to wear diapers to this day.
哎呦，所以师姐那里是开什么？
这边就是他拆除多余器官，然后出生塞肠子的，医生都说他是国宝级，应该没有人有。
哦，小伟，你为什么要把衣服折得这样小小的？干嘛折得这样小小的？
比较好放。我的，有慈济的，还有慈济衣服。
家里你都负责帮忙做什么？
扫地、拖地， 折衣服、翻衣架。
These are all from the local clothing stores. All the clothing are prepackaged in these clear plastic bags, and they have to take each pieces out one by one. Before, they would just throw it away in piles. However, now I actively come to collect them on a regular basis, which reduces their burden as well. I used to do volunteering solely for my son. You see, his health condition is not well, so I thought if I gave back to society, all the good deeds will bring blessings upon him. However, the more I volunteered, the more I felt that I had something to give back as well. I was learning so much while doing the good deeds. Just like what Master Zheng Yan stated, the more we do, the more we gain.
The Lantern Festival in Taiwan has ended. Tzu Chi section has attracted more than 27,000 people and more than 500 volunteers were mobilized. Almost all the decorative items in the Tzu Chi section were recyclables. It is hoped that Tzu Chi section will see the concept of love and cherishing belongings into people's hearts.
The bamboo tube lotus, which was the children's favorite, is being turned by donated coins. On the last day of the Lantern Festival, volunteers still stick to their post to introduce the display.
Today is the last day of the Lantern Festival. I need to grasp this opportunity to bless the kids for growing wisdom and blessings.
The theme of Tzu Chi session was environmental protection. The materials were almost all recyclables.
It's eye-catching and educational. It still also makes people feel compassion, so it is really a great artwork.
From the session setup, including hydropower configuration, lighting test, site preparation to guide tour, more than 500 volunteers were mobilized, and the number of visitors exceeded 27,000.
Everyone was very devoted. Our volunteers did their jobs happily. People who came to visit were also full of joy and happiness.
The 16-day Lantern Festival has closed. It is hoped that Tzu Chi session will deeply seed this concept of love and cherishing belongings amongst the public.
The Taiwan Lantern Festival is over. Nearly 80 Tzu Chi volunteers went to help and dismantle the display. With the help of dye technology, the demolition work went smoothly and successfully.
Put these all together, I will pack it into one box.
The Lantern Festival is over. Volunteers helped dismantle the display.
Watch out, this is to be torn down.
There were many demolition works. Some volunteers squat down to tear the wooden parts.
It's hard to dismantle because we have to make sure the visitors walk by safely, so we made it quite tight during construction.
The elderly volunteers also climbed up to remove the lights.
I need to hold it tight, need to be safe.
Volunteers removed the display carefully. All environmental protection lanterns are to be recycled.
We're going to establish an environmental protection center in Taichung Jinsi Hall. We will bring back some of the displays and put them in the center.
We have specially planned the moving line and arranged the vehicles needed in advance to make sure the removal goes smoothly.
The demolition project went smoothly and successfully in the end. Dye technology provided full assistance from the beginning of the exhibition to the end.
We have gathered the colleagues from the design and business planning departments of our company to discuss whether the main installation of this exhibition area can be reused again.
Volunteers Zhou Mingzhong and Huang Jianzhong, who are responsible for space planning, are the best partners to solve any problems in the exhibition area.
There were too many trivial things to consider. We also worried about the weather. If it was windy or raining, all these we have to think carefully before the festival.
During the process of working, we were cultivating blessings, so I'm accumulating virtues.
The strength in unity made the demolition of the Lantern Festival go smoothly and successfully.
Indigenous languages are listed as one of the languages threatened with extinction by UNESCO. Indigenous people in most metropolitan areas can hardly speak their mother tongue, with the Taiwan government promoting measures such as ethnic language certification. Qualified instructors are required to teach at least 2 to 5 families a week, as they believe there are too few resources to rescue these disappearing languages.
Try tribe uses singing to teach the mayor this Aboriginal language. After Taipei and Taoyuan, New Taipei City became the third municipality to propose a language certification system.
If you pass the intermediate or higher level certification, we will provide you with a maximum award of $500.
来，我们来听一下，什么叫做优级的声音？
Principal Yun is the only person in New Taipei City who has passed the highest level certification in indigenous languages in recent years. He pointed out that teaching is not systematic and many people graduate from elementary school and do not know what they have learned.
How to build knowledge amongst indigenous people is a structural problem that no one has accomplished so far. The content of the curriculum should correspond to our ethnic language and inform us of what we should learn.
到底应该要学些什么？
At the front lines of education are these indigenous language teachers who volunteer their services. Each family has a fixed class time of 1.5 hours a week, and even the grandmother who spoke this language comes to observe and encourage.
We will use romanization such as pinyin to let these children learn faster. I think our children actually need the influence of this culture.
Language education starts from home. It's like this. I also want to say that parents now can learn with their children. If you don't study, then later you won't know where your people come from.
Starting from the daily vocabulary, this fifth grader has made lots of improvement in just half a year. His vocabulary intent has improved.
I have interest because others can speak. Yes, my classmates can speak this language.
With most people unable to speak, language teachers need to work very hard as each person has to bear 4 major types of work, including translation, collecting teaching materials, chatting with the elders, creating a community-based atmosphere, and going to students' homes to teach. Only 30% are personally inspired to learn, as most people have other incentives.
Some of the students learn the language because they can get more points in the exam. Some of them are in their 50s. I think they have reached an age where they want to learn their own language. Our difficulty is really hard to solve.
The government has done a lot to promote these languages, yet there may only be a superficial effect. How to improve the identity of their hometown and let resources be known to those in need is an urgent issue.
Resources are very difficult to find. Thankfully, we know teacher Zhihua who help us apply for these courses. In Brazil, Tzu Chi hosted a free clinic in a city nearby the Sao Paulo liaison office for the impoverished local residents. Take a look and see you next time.